Let's do it.
Hello, Team Freedom Reigns. It's another Monday. What does that mean?
That means it's hashtag
TFR
Motivation Monday.
This is where we come in just to share short information, team and company announcements, as well as some training tips. And we very often have special guests. Like tonight, we've got the doctor, right? He's pretty special. So guys, just know that we appreciate you hopping on here live, but understand that this is not always convenient time for everyone. So that's why we always make sure to record and we upload it to either YouTube or SoundCloud. And you can go to both of those accounts and follow us. For YouTube, it is Team Freedom Reigns, and for SoundCloud, it is Freedom Reigns. So go and subscribe so that you get notifications when we upload new content, because it's all about helping you have the information you need to be as successful as you possibly can. So moving forward, part of being part of a team is celebrating each other together. Celebration is a key component to an individual success. Did you know a high percentage of people will get involved with a company just because they're looking to be noticed, to be celebrated, to be told they're doing a great job? And so you've got to make sure that you've got all these different components in place when you become a leader. So what we want to do is we want to make sure and remind every single one of you that if you're part of our direct team, Team Freedom Reigns, we do have our Team Freedom Reigns Facebook page where we celebrate monthly and weekly all of the amazing things each one of you are doing to build your business. If you're not part of the Team Freedom Reigns Facebook page, I'm sorry. Go and start this for your own team. It's so important to celebrate the wins and lift each other up.
Seriously.
Yeah, when you're building this business. So every single Saturday, Sensational Saturday, that's where we want to hear about the things that you've done throughout the week, pushing yourself a little bit further, maybe picking up that phone and calling a chicken list person, or just following up properly. That is such a big deal. We want to hear all about it. And then, of course, our enroller leaderboards and our rank advancements are announced at the beginning of every single month, and we want you to go and celebrate each and every one of these people. So celebrate. It's a part of the fun and growth in a network marketing business. So guys, this call is going to be very much the same, but when you look at these dates, you're probably saying, all right, you've had this on the last 3 calls. Come on, guys, get some new slides, right? Well, the reason why we do this is because it's the things you focus on are the things that you are going to get. The things you think about the most are the things that are your top priorities. And if you are making it a priority to build your LifeVantage business here at or in your network marketing business, then you must know the important dates. And here they are on the screen right now. Now, these are just some of them because attending all events really is a non-negotiable part of building your belief to have the tools and the connections that you need to be successful. So guess what? We opened in New Zealand
today,
right? I know it says November 12th, right? But yeah, it's the 12th already in New Zealand. We are open now in New Zealand. So be asking yourself, who do I know? Or who do I know that knows somebody, right? Because that's what connecting is all about, is connecting what you have with people that know people in the areas that you want to go. Okay, next one, Cancun Elite Academy. Make sure that you've got that on your calendar. If you're not pre-registered, well, you just might have to have a little bit of a walk, but you can still register and you still need to go, because if you want to go up, you have to show up to get all of the information, because you never know when that little bit of nugget is that you need, when it's going to show up. So you have to be there at all of the right times. Elite Academies, the regional ones. Next summer, there's going to be many of them that are going to be announced. Make sure that as soon as they announce them, you find the one that's closest to you, put it in your calendar and attend. Global Convention, Las Vegas, Nevada in October of 2020. Make your plans now, guys. You can already go and pre-register. So go pre-register, block these dates out, ask for the time off, and make it a priority. And then the Elite Retreat. Actually, Elite Retreat's this week, right? Here in Scottsdale, Arizona. We're super excited. We're going to have all kinds of new committees that are being formed by elites that only have your best interest in mind. So guys, the reason why we have the Elite Retreat dates and location on here right now is because we truly believe that every single one of you can make it there. You can do it.
You can do it.
You just have to decide, okay? So, and by the way, next year it's in Maui. Don't you want to go? I want you to go. Put it on your calendar and then start doing all of the proper actions to get yourselves there.
Oh, I didn't tell you what I said last week on the TFR call.
What'd you say?
In Maui, with your approval, of course.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to be wearing a coconut bikini and a hula skirt. Just saying.
And this is punishment for what?
I said with your approval.
Or wait, what? No, guys.
Because I'm secure in the fact that I think I could wear a coconut bikini.
I'm pretty sure you could too, most definitely. But keep in mind the impossible is only found in the dictionary of fools. Anthony Robles is a perfect example of that. Know that if you decide you can absolutely do it, if you start to think something's impossible before you've even tried, what does that make you? Stop it already. Just stop it. All right, guys, so let's move on here. Talking about Cancun.
Maybe a guy wearing a coconut bikini exists in the minds of a fool.
Yeah, I think you should stop that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. So Cancun. So there are ways that you can still earn money back for this trip. Now, first you got to get pre-registered, because if you hit one of the levels to earn money and you haven't pre-registered, guess what? You don't get the money. You don't get the money. Because that's why this promotion is in place, is to get you to the event, help it be better financially for you, but it's also building your business, right? So you've got to be there to earn the money towards the cost. So go and check that out. But here, the company is constantly giving us promotions to help us earn additional points. This one for November, enroll 2 new personally enrolled distributors into your business this month. Make sure that their subscription is set up for a proper amount for next month, that between the 2 of them it equals at least 300 in PV. Okay, so 2 new distributors this month. Next month their subscriptions run for at least 300 in PV together, and you're going to earn 200 points towards the Cancun trip. So we've already got a few people on our team that have earned that trip. Some are registered, some are not, or at least they've earned the first tier.
Right.
So here we go. All right, so for tonight's call, guys, seriously, the doctor is in. And again, I know that some of this information is going to be very familiar to a lot of you, but the reason why we're going over this again and again and again is because we want to make sure that you have the right information, the facts, only the facts, ma'am, and that you understand it properly so that you can have the proper posture to be able to share this with the people that you come in contact with. Because this information that we have is so significant that we are rocking the world with the synergy that we're going to be sharing with you guys tonight. So one thing that I want to, and actually I'll talk about the patent here after you get going through. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the time over to the doctor so that he can help you understand the who, what, why, when, whatever, of why the synergy of taking all 3 Protandim products together is so significant. So Dr. Dondi Nettles.
Thank you, Marcy. I appreciate that. Thank you all. I'm not wearing a coconut bikini right now, but let's just get into the seriousness
he even
of
has
this.
pants on.
Yes, I actually do.
Sorry, guys. If you're not having fun, you're not doing it wrong.
If you can't make fun of yourself, just make fun of other people. That's just kidding. So in all seriousness, though, I wanted really to just kind of share with all of you, because first and foremost, we appreciate all the hard work, all the sacrifice, all the determination that you put into building your businesses. And whether or not you are doing it in pursuit of your own freedom or in pursuit of your own why, or to make the world a better place, we just want to make sure that we equip you with the ability to do it at the highest level of predictable success. And when it comes to groundbreaking products, I think it's very important that you understand, that we all understand truly the magnitude of what we are doing here at LifeVantage and why we are so different than any company historically and any company out there even presently in what we're trying to accomplish with regard to the health of the human species. And we deal directly now, and this is really, the conversation was not this complete 2 months ago, before NAD. We now have the ability to directly influence the 3 most prevalent and most widely researched theories of aging. And let me just explain that progression. So research isn't done on things that don't matter. Scientists and doctors and researchers don't get together and discuss what could we do unless there is a human benefit involved. And so the fact that there is research being done should tell us two things. One, there is a need, and two, there are people in pursuit of finding solutions to that need. Because whether or not you speak the same language, look the same, or have the same skin color, human beings want to help human beings. It is just something that exists in all cultures, all forms of business, all communities, and we want to embrace that and identify with that with regard to the pursuits of LifeVantage. So in science, in research discussions, in scientific discussions, the three most common aging issues that come up are dealt directly with. The first one, the theory of, or the mitochondrial theory of aging is kind of encompassing the first, but the first one I want to talk about is the free radical theory of aging. The second is the mitochondrial theory of aging, and the third is the sirtuin theory of aging. And as a quest in LifeVantage, we have been in pursuit of NRF2 activation for the longest amount of time. It's actually how we became a bona fide company. The results from the questions that doctors, in this case, Dr. Joe McCord and his team were asking almost 20 years ago. Can we get natural ingredients, combine them together, and improve the human experience? And they discovered that they did with the original Protandim product, which we later called the Protandim NRF2 Synergizer, once we realized there was more products going to join that family. But I want to share with you the 26 peer-reviewed and published studies that we have in-house are dealing directly with Protandim NRF2 Synergizer's ability to trigger the NRF2 pathway. That's within our own environment. That's in-house here at LifeVantage. But I want to share something with you that is completely outside of that reality. And that is the study of the NRF2 pathway itself. However, it gets activated. It did not include our company, did not include our products, just included the triggering of the NRF2 pathway. And this research was done at Washington State University. And the conclusion of the study, again, had nothing to do with our company, had nothing to do with our product, Protandim. The NRF2 Synergizer just had everything to do with investigating what does triggering this NRF2 pathway accomplish for people that are in pursuit of increasing the human experience. And what they concluded was this, is that NRF2 activation, get this, NRF2 activation is the most powerful preventative measure, or the most powerful preventative breakthrough and the most powerful therapeutic breakthrough in the history of medicine. Not says me, not says LifeVantage, says Washington State University, who are pretty much experts in studying the NRF2 pathway. So when that kind of a concept or that kind of a statement comes out, then and this was after our product was released, obviously, but that's the magnitude of it. And I want to take that a step further. So we believe here at LifeVantage that it's pretty important to trigger NRF2 pathway. Washington State thinks it's pretty important to trigger the NRF2 pathway. But what about organized science? What about the people that look at, from all over the world, scientific breakthroughs and reward people that are making the biggest contribution to these scientific breakthroughs? Well, there is an organization that for over 100 years has been issuing awards for the people, scientists, doctors, organizations, universities that are most contributory every year to advancing the human species with scientific discoveries. And in 1997, the Benjamin Franklin Foundation, or the Benjamin Franklin Institute actually, issued what was called the Elliott Cresson Medal to Dr. Joe McCord for his discovery of free radical biology, dealing directly with the first and most studied at the time, back in 1997, when this award was issued, the free radical theory of aging was the most widely studied. And because of that breakthrough, Dr. Joe McCord, who's the person who formulated Protandim NRF2 Synergizer, received this award. Well, then as doctors and researchers and scientists all over the world started to dive deeper into the theories of aging, one that was kind of in the background, but we didn't really have the ability to influence it, which is why it was in the background, was the mitochondrial theory of aging. And here's where it becomes relevant to us as people. And I can tell you that how relevant it is. Look at, let's just say 7:30 to 8 a.m. Monday through Friday. Look at the lines at Starbucks, look at the lines at Dunkin' Donuts, and look at the lines at any coffee distribution place. And look, they're long because people who just woke up, who should be rested and rejuvenated, are looking for energy, but they're looking in an external source, which is why Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts and Dutch Brothers and all kinds of other companies, Seattle's Best or whatever it's called, it's why they're in business, because we have an energy deficit as a human species. But the solution is not in a cup of coffee. The solution is not in a little bottle of 5-hour energy. The solution is inside. When we can address and we can discover and we can isolate where energy comes from inside ourselves and influence that, we now have the ability to significantly influence and greatly contribute to the human expression of life. That's what the second theory of aging dealt with, the mitochondrial theory of aging. Well, how important is that to us? Our Protandim NRF2 Synergizer, or NRF2 1 Synergizer, is a very powerful product, stimulating mitochondria. But does that power of the ability to influence mitochondria exist just with the distributors or the customers of LifeVantage? The answer is no. It's in the research. And how do I know this? Because if you look at, again, this progression of giving rewards or awards for people that are making the greatest contribution 2 years ago, in 2017, the recipient for that award, which it changed names, it used to be called the Elliott Crescent Medal. 1997 was the last year it carried that name. It is now called the Benjamin Franklin Medal. Same award, same institution that gives the award, the Ben Franklin Institute. Well, here's who received it. Dr. Douglas Wallace. If you remember the early 9-minute full ABC primetime broadcast from 2005, Dr. Douglas Wallace, who then was working at the University of California at Irvine, talked about extending the life cycle of a mammal. It was the guy with glasses who was talking about if we could help mice live this much longer, maybe we could eventually do the same for human beings. It was speaking in future tense. Well, that discovery he was talking about was the mitochondrial theory of aging, which was intertwined within the free radical theory of aging. We just didn't understand the implications or how significantly intertwined they were until we discovered the mitochondrial pathway of NRF1 activation, which is also why if you've ever wondered why we recommend don't ever take NRF1 Synergizer by itself. It must be taken with NRF2 Synergizer, because NRF1 synergizing or activating that pathway creates a tremendous increase of mitochondria, the efficiency of the mitochondria, and their production of ATP, which creates debris inside the cells, which we need to stimulate NRF2 to clear out. So together, NRF2 and NRF1 work wonderfully. But NRF1 by itself, you don't want to trigger that without also triggering NRF2. So the discovery was given, or the award was given to Dr. Douglas Wallace for mitochondrial DNA, his study of mitochondrial DNA. It's that important. So now fast forward to September of 2019, the 4th day of September to be specific, when we came out with the NAD Synergizer and brought this discussion to a whole different level of relevance and a whole different level of being able to influence human physiology at the DNA level. So Washington State calls NRF2 the most extraordinary therapeutic and the most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. Awesome. It wins the Elliott Crescent Medal in 1997, that discovery. NRF1 wins the Benjamin Franklin, or not NRF1, the understanding of mitochondrial, triggering NRF1 pathway to influence mitochondrial DNA, the importance of mitochondrial DNA and its understanding, wins the Benjamin Franklin Medal 2 years ago. Here's my prediction, that Dr. David Sinclair has nothing to do with LifeVantage, but has everything to do with the understanding scientifically of NAD. He works at Harvard, works at Harvard and MIT, and has been studying this pathway for the last 20 years. In 2013, he and his team published a study that brought this entire discussion together. I'm going to talk about NAD. You may not have heard it before this, and it's not pronounced NAD, it's NAD. It's an acronym for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, NAD. That molecule, when you look at what it does, it fortifies these things called sirtuins, which speaks directly to the third and most prominent theory of aging, the sirtuin theory of aging. And in the human cells, there's 7. In every single human cell, doesn't matter whether it's a skin cell, hair cell, heart cell, muscle cell, blood cell, all of our cells have 7 of these sirtuins. Consider them like managers, managing the efficiency of the cell. Here's the mind-blowing part. Of those 7, 3 of them work inside the nucleus and influence NRF2 activation. 3 of them work in the mitochondria and influence mitochondria or influence ATP production and the efficiency of energy exchange inside the cell. And 1 exists in the cell matrix, which is called the cytoplasm, and kind of walks around just making sure everything is working fine. Kind of like the master manager of the cell, making sure the 3 in the nucleus and the 3 in the mitochondria are communicating together and making sure that the entire cell is managed and functioning properly. Here's the key breakthrough in all of this. NAD restores the ability of the mitochondria and the nucleus of the cell to communicate with each other. Wow. And this is why any one product is not going to cut it, because our NRF2 increases the efficiency of the nucleus. No questions. It's an incredible breakthrough. NRF1 improves the efficiency of the mitochondria. No one doubts it. It's an incredible breakthrough. But what hadn't happened, improving NRF1 activation and improving mitochondrial function, you've got inherent benefits with that. Improving NRF2 activation and decreasing oxidative stress, you have inherent benefits from that. But if these 2 things aren't compounding each other and working off of each other and exchanging dialogue and communicating with each other, you just have subparts that are more efficient, but the total function of the cell still has improvement to make until NAD was released. NAD is literally the opening up and restoring to normal efficiency, why am I having a hard time with this word? The communication pathway between the mitochondria and the nucleus of the cell. Why is that important? Because the nucleus controls your DNA. The mitochondria gives your cells energy. One of the reasons why people are in line at these coffee places in the morning is they're lacking energy. We just figured out how to restore it to the communication between the nucleus so everything is working seamlessly, and it's in this NAD molecule. It's so critically important that if you were to turn it off and stop NAD production, within 30 seconds, you would drop dead. It's that important to just life. But what if we take it not just life, not just status quo, but thriving regardless of what age you are? And that's something that as we age, our energy gets less and less. As we age, our ability or our tendency to acquire diseases gets more and more because we don't have the cellular energy to fight off the progression of mutations and diseases. Here was the theory behind the really where Dr. David Sinclair, in my prediction, in the next 5 to 10 years, he will be receiving I get so emotional about this because we are so ahead of the power curve on this. I predict that Dr. David Sinclair will receive the Benjamin Franklin Medal within the next 5 to 10 years because of his initial discoveries of NAD pathway. Now, he has nothing to do with LifeVantage. His discoveries have nothing to do with LifeVantage. We simply took what he understood already, capitalized on the ability to influence that pathway and brought that product to market. Well, here is really the silver lining in all of this. It is not a market that is deaf to the understanding of NRF2. We start the conversation, and more importantly, we fill in the blanks for a population of people that don't even understand NRF2. We do the same with NRF1, but there is a population of people out there that understand NAD. They may not understand NAD in the NAD sense, but they understand keto diets and the power of eating more protein and fat than carbohydrates, and here's the thing, forcing your body into a very inefficient system of breaking down fat to create carbohydrates to allow your body to work, because your body can't work without carbohydrates. But if you deprive yourself of carbohydrates coming in, your body will figure out another way. And it goes and it breaks down fat. Now, to us, the benefit is we look better. The scale gives us a better number. We look better in our clothes, and we may even have this weird thing of more energy. But there's no caffeine in your protein and your fat that you're eating. There's no caffeine generated by your body's breaking down of fat to create carbohydrates, but there is NAD production. That's why people that are on a keto diet or a paleo diet, or people that practice intermittent fasting, or what they call time-restricted feeding, where they only eat in a certain window of time, and their body is fasting the rest of the time, no carbohydrates coming in, you leave your body no choice than to break down the fat to create carbohydrates. We benefit from that. We strive for that. And it's a more natural way than the other ways that are out there that may be medically supervised, or you just have to eat this cardboard tasting food that you don't like, or buy some gym membership. Here's the benefit. The population of people that are doing intermittent fasting, that are eating keto or paleo, already understand the benefits, but they don't typically understand that NAD is orchestrating the whole thing. Behind the scenes, NAD is what is allowing this, fortifying the sirtuin so that the cells work more efficiently, including the cells that are breaking down fat to give you energy in the form of carbohydrates. You take that, you have a population of people that are already implementing lifestyle choices for a benefit. They just didn't understand really the science behind what they're doing. We did at LifeVantage. We saw Dr. Sinclair's research. We saw what people were doing. We just figured out a way to get there faster. Turn the switch on so you don't need precursors. And let me just kind of allude, and I'll kind of close with this.
Do you want me to go to the next slide?
Yeah, I forgot we even had slides. So these are kind of be redundant now. So the three most prominent theories of aging are the oxidative stress, or more better known as the free radical theory of aging, mitochondrial theory of aging, and the sirtuin theory of aging. We have a product that deals directly with all three of them individually, but here's the magnificence of this unified approach. Imagine, if you will, that the NRF2 activation within the cell nucleus is like the brass section or the horns section of a symphony. You've got some French horns, you've got some trombones, you've got some trumpets, you've got some saxophones, you've got some tubas, and you've got all the brass horn instruments are like NRF2 activation. But can you have a symphony with just horns? No, you can get some really talented music, but it's going to be limited in its appeal in the broad spectrum. Now you've got NRF1 activation, which say it's kind of like the strings. You got the violins, and you've got the cellos, and the bass. Can you have a symphony with just the string section? No. You can get very talented music that has an appeal, but not the widespread spectrum of a symphony. Well, then take the percussion. NAD is like the percussion that brings with it the conductor. So the percussion, the drums, the cymbals, the tempo, the cadence. And now you've got a conductor that is orchestrating the entire thing, making sure that the horns and the strings and the percussion are all joining in to create this magic music that a symphony provides. Here's the thing. What if you just brought in the percussion, but you left out the conductor? You've got very talented musicians, but they're doing their own individual things, maybe even at a high level. So if you take it in isolation, it's great.
How about if we go to the next
Go ahead. But the contribution to the totality of the picture can only be established with a conductor that takes the benefits of all three scenarios, the stringed instruments, the horn instruments, and the percussion, and brings them all together in a symphony that we just close our eyes and drift off in and be captivated by. That's what this Tri-Synergizer does, is it brings the conductor to the equation. And again, all of our products individually are phenomenal. And I don't know how well you can read the verbiage here, but when you have Protandim NRF2 by itself, it has a wonderful contribution to health. There, as you can see in the two survival genes that are triggered by taking our product, Protandim NRF2 Synergizer. In isolation, the NRF1 Synergizer, the two survival genes that it influences there are wonderful and phenomenal and worthy of the Benjamin Franklin medal by itself. And then you take the same contributions of NAD, which the population, again, of the keto, paleo, time-restricted feeding, and intermittent fasting population already are benefiting from the benefits, just really didn't understand that the symphony behind the scenes, the orchestration of the conductor behind the scenes, why was the music sounding so great? Now we understand. But if you look at the second column in each of these individual products, you see the Tri-Synergizer, the compounded effect of synergizing plus synergizing plus synergizing, bringing it all together in a well-orchestrated fashion for cellular function optimization. Now just think about what we have. When all of our cells are working more efficiently, those cells in mass form become an organ. The organs, when teamed together, become systems. When systems are pulled together, it becomes a human being. And when every cell in every organ, in every system, in every human is working optimally, we literally have just created the most optimal scenario for not just health and wellness, but literally turning back the clock. And if we would have had this discussion 2 months ago, I would have said figuratively, turning back the clock. Like John Quinones, would you like to turn back the clock by taking a few pills? It was theory. Now it's fact. We can literally do that because I'm going to close with this. The only reason we die is because our cells will slowly lose energy, slowly lose the ability to communicate with the nucleus, and as a result, slowly become more and more susceptible to the things that kill us, the diseases of aging. Well, now we have the ability to restore that efficiency literally back to the efficiency of a child or a very young person. If you've heard the terminology regarding NRF2, it's now not just NRF2. We are talking about the human expression, not just a couple cells. We're talking about the entire thing. When we have the ability to turn that back, now we're just starting this. This is just coming to light, in the latter half of the 2010s with like I said, that paper that Dr. David Sinclair published was published in 2013. We're now 6 years past that, and we're just starting to hone in on it. But I want you to understand what I kind of talked about last week with regard to the Roger Bannister effect. We will be, we started out, and we always will be first to bring this kind of a scenario, this kind of a symphony, this kind of well-orchestrated, fully intentional outcomes, the first one to ever bring this magnitude to market. We are first. Yes. And that will always be the case. So it's why I wanted to be a little redundant, because I talked a little bit about some of this stuff last week, but I really want you to understand it's not just my opinion. It's not just LifeVantage's opinion. It is where science is going. Yes. Science is opting for activation over supplementation more and more every single day. And they're shooting for optimizing that expression of activation in a synergistic form like never before. So fasten your seatbelts and keep a journal of this, because mark my words, I am fully predicting within the next 5 to 10 years, you will see Dr. David Sinclair receive this very prestigious award, and you will see all of the people that are affiliated with LifeVantage, including you. You're going to see our company go to $1 billion and beyond, because the world wants what we have. They just don't know what we have. and why it's so important. So hopefully it just gave you guys a little bit more ammunition to continue having the discussions that we've been having with this, but understand why it is so powerful and why this time it's such a critical need around the world, to give you guys some extra incentive to go out and share this with everybody.
That's so awesome. Thank you, doctor. Hey, by
You're
the way,
welcome.
guys, so as he's talking about the power behind the Tri-Synergizer, us being first, and we will always be first, you know, for Protandim NRF2, we've got significant patents, right? Well, I want you guys to know that there has been a patent application filed for the Tri-Synergizer, the 3 Protandims together, because of these amazing results that you see here on this screen, okay? So that has been applied for. And it's also been written that this patent would also give an individual patent to each one of the Protandim products. So another patent for NRF2, one for NRF1, and one for NAD, okay? So just keep this in mind. Applications are filled out, they're submitted, and then the patent authority will go through it and they will either approve it or they'll return it to have it be changed. So that's how it's been written. We're not sure exactly how it will play out, but that is what we are looking for, because we are first. This is so exciting, guys. For us to be able to have a patent on this Tri-Synergizer, I mean, it just gives us even more fuel, more power, and more security in this opportunity. But I also want to speak quickly to this. Because of how powerful this Tri-Synergizer is working inside of our bodies, it's also working that hard to get the junk that has built up inside of us, or that we keep putting in there, out.
Yes.
And so we want to make sure that each and every one of you are aware of this form that Dondi has put together about what to expect when you add in the NAD product or you start taking Tri-Synergizer, all 3 Protandims together, okay? So do you want to speak on this really quickly? And
yeah, one of the things that again, that's the bringing in the percussion and bringing in the conductor to establish at a higher rate of efficiency what NRF2 was already doing, which is taking out the garbage, and NRF1 already doing, bringing more energy. Well, there is a significant detox that NAD brings to this equation, because it's upregulating what is already being upregulated, which means NRF2 pathway, as you saw the numbers, is working more efficiently than just Protandim NRF2 by itself, NRF1 more efficiently, NAD more efficiently. So with that being said, there's a very strong likelihood, and way more so than NRF2 by itself, that people will have a detox response, which is a very healthy response, by the way. Your body has a detox mechanism in case you ingest poison. If you've ever eaten bad food or bad fish, it sucks to vomit or have diarrhea, but it's healthy. It's your body's way of purging itself. In other words, detoxing is normal, to be expected. So I created this to allow people to understand what could happen, because here's the thought of it. This is what you can expect to have: loose stool, stomach cramping, diarrhea, maybe headaches, or feeling lethargic, kind of like you're coming down with the flu. But if you don't have that, you're expecting it but don't have it, it's awesome. But if you're expecting great results because you're hearing all these stories and your experience is, I feel like crap, I'm vomiting, I have loose stools, you're like, screw this, it doesn't work. So it's better to equip somebody with what to expect. And if they don't have it, great. But if they do have it, they're prepared for it. And it's a normal part of the body's way of detoxing to start with a clean slate, because you can't be increasing health when you've got toxicity inside of you. So your body, but it's an ongoing process. You may be having pesticides residues on the vegetables that you're eating, or maybe even preservatives in the foods that you continue to eat, which is why we have a daily application of the Tri-Synergizer. It's a daily process, because sometimes toxic environments or toxic eating or toxic thoughts is also a daily process. So we address it regularly, or address it at the source, but this will just help you prepare yourself and the people that are getting involved in the Tri-Synergizer what to expect, and to expect the very healthy process of detoxing. And the best way to combat it is to increase your water intake, to dilute the toxins that are going into your bloodstream, to lessen the symptoms, and then give it time for the body to do its job.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. All right, guys. So just a quick reminder here. This Tri-Synergizer is freaking amazing. If you are not using it yourself yet, you must.
You must.
Get on it right now, and get everybody that you know. So someone asked me the other day, so what, if somebody can only afford a certain amount, what is your go-to now? And I'm like, I can't really say one individual product anymore because of the significance of that synergy that is giving us exponential optimization of these bodies that we have, right? You only get one of these. You have to take care of everybody's system. So it's really hard. Tri-Synergizer is really where we need to be showing the value and why it's important to take care of your whole body. So guys, okay, tomorrow night, now that you have all this information and you're as excited as we are, and we know that we're first and we've got to go and do something with this, live opportunity overview every single Tuesday night, same time always, 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Every single Tuesday night. It's either us or a guest presenter. Tomorrow night, it will be us. It's always the same Zoom meeting ID for the registration for that overview. So tomorrow night, start inviting now if you haven't been yet, because you've got plenty of time to get lots of people in front of this information, because that's how you grow your business, is sharing the information. So
yes, that's right.
Thanks for being on here with us, guys. We love you. Bye.